Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be showing you guys all the books that I either bought or received in July. I do have quite a big stack of books to get through today, but I would just like to point out that my birthday is in July. It's on July 3rd, so I do have a few presents to show you. I was also given a few books by my mum and my stepdad, and then there are some that I just could not resist. So this one's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. I have quite a few different types of books to show you, but I'm honestly excited for each and every single one. Also, I do quickly want to mention that the books that I bought whilst at YALC, which is the Young Adult Literature Convention in London, will not be featured in this video. I have already filmed my YALC haul, which I will leave up above and down below for you guys, so definitely check that out if you'd like to see which books I bought at that convention. There were quite a few actually, and I'd forgotten that those counted as part of my July book haul. So actually I have bought quite a few books this month, but because they're not in this video, we're not going to think about them. Because I have a mix of books, I am just going to show you guys what is in the pile, and I don't think there's any sort of reason to it. I have tried to group certain types of books together, and I will of course timestamp the video so that you can easily see which sections are when, and if you do want to skip a few, that is completely fine. Kicking off this video though, I have two books to show you from the same author. The first one is The Unravelling of Luna Forrester, and the second one is The Shadow Keeper, and these are both written by Marissa Noel. I have no idea what these two books are about, but my stepdad and my mum went to a games expo not too long ago, and because my birthday was coming up, they were on the lookout for some books. They stumbled upon this stall, they met the author, she has signed these books as well actually, and it looks like this, and I just thought that this was a really lovely gift because they know how much I love reading, but they're always scared to buy me books in case I've already read them, and they did go out on a whim with this one, and luckily I have not read anything from this author before. I am gonna have to read you the synopsis for these two books just because I'm clueless about them, so please forgive me for that. And I am gonna start with The Shadow Keepers because I believe that this is her oldest book and this one is her newest. So I'll start with the backlist. It says, "The shadows are coming. 16-year-old Georgia Boone sees evil, shadowy creatures in mirrors. They look like humanoid crows and stare at her with hungry red eyes. Recently, they've been whispering terrifying threats. Of course, no one believes her. When Georgia is sent to the UK's most prestigious mental health centre, Brookwood Hospital, she is forced to face her fears and answer the question, are the shadows real or is it all in her head? At Brookwood, the supernatural shadows are more present than ever. When patients start to go missing, Georgia teams up with a mysterious boy who is trapped inside the mirror world. Only with their forces combined can she prove she's not hallucinating. But will she be able to stop the ghostly shadows from seeping out of the mirrors and possessing the human race?" Oh my god, that sounds insane. I'm kind of here for it though, to be honest with you. I definitely want to read darker books at the minute. I know that probably sounds really weird, but I'm a person that is scared quite easily, and so I do tend to avoid these types of books. However, I feel like this will be really interesting actually, and I'm looking forward to see how mental health is dealt with throughout this book as well. And then if I'm remembering correctly, there are some trigger warnings at the front of these books. Yes, there are. So we do have a page here for content warnings, but I will read them out quickly to you as well. So this book involves anger issues, mental illness, general anxiety, panic attacks, OCD, trauma, PTSD, selective mutism, catatonia, suicide ideation, suicidal thoughts, and self-harm. Also involves arson, blood, gore, graphic injuries, death, murder, hallucinations, delusions, intrusive thoughts, loss of a loved one, death of a parent, death of a sibling, violence, fantastical violence, physical assault, and monsters. So we have quite a big list there, and I'm actually glad that I have reread that trigger list because if you don't know, I did recently lose someone that I care about very, very much, and it is a little bit triggering for me at the minute, but I think because it's in this fantastical setting, I will be okay with it. So I am really excited to dive into this one, though a little bit apprehensive just because I feel like it's going to be a really scary story. But thank you to Mum and Jay for buying this for me, and hopefully I can get to it soon. And then as I mentioned, this is her newest book. It is The Unravelling of Luna Forrester, and on the back this one says, "Matthew has always protected Luna's secret. Now he must protect her life. When his best friend Luna is found catatonic after a devastating house fire, Matthew begins to fall apart. Take care of them, Matthew. Always. Protect my secret, of course." That's the promise he made to her only 3 nights ago. A solemn vow to protect their large found family of humans and supernatural creatures alike. Fated to love her for the rest of his life and unwilling to break his solemn vow, Matthew knows the only person who can help Luna is her grandmother. Through the woods they must go, just like a fairy tale, but the forest is filled with deadly peril, poisonous black moss, chimeras, and worst of all, members of their family who don't want them to continue. As they are picked off one by one, Matthew races to get Luna to safety, all the time doubting everything he thought was holds true? Can Matthew untangle the twisted threads of Luna's secret before he himself unravels? Another one that actually sounds really good. I feel like this one will be right up my street. For those of you who don't know, I love a darker fantasy, so I'm definitely excited about this one. I feel like I'll get to this one before the other one, just because this is more my thing, but then the content warning for this, again, it's a lot. You can pause it there and just have a look at it if you want to, but again, I will just read them out for you. So in this book we have abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, animal violence, death of an animal. Oh no, I'm not excited to read this one at all. Anger issues, mental illness, anxiety, panic attacks, OCD, DID, trauma, PTSD, selective mutism, catatonia, arsony, blood, gore and graphic injuries, death, murder, drowning, poisoning, guilt, hallucinations, delusions, intrusive thoughts, loss of a loved one, death of a parent, death of a child, death of a sibling, wow, starvation, suicide, suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, violence, gunshots, gun violence and physical assault. So these books are definitely dark, and once again though, I am really happy about the trigger warnings page. I feel like every book should have a list of trigger warnings. Thank you so much to Mum and Jay for picking these up for me. I genuinely cannot wait to read them, and I will probably save them until October time so that I can read them in the spooky months. Next up we have Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lupina, and this was very kindly sent to me by Chloe over at Chloe Reads Books for my birthday, so thank you so much for this, Chloe. I have really wanted to get into Sherry Lupina's books for a while now, and I feel like this is the perfect place to start. For those of you who don't know, this is a thriller, and from what I can gather, there is an elderly couple who are murdered, and it seems like their 3 kids are devastated, but as we dive deeper into the lives of this family, we realise that the children could inherit millions of pounds from their parents' death. And it says here, they were never a happy family thanks to their vindictive father and neglectful mother, but perhaps one of them is more disturbed than anyone knew. Did someone snap after that dreadful evening, or did another person appear later that night with the worst intentions? This sounds so intriguing to me. I am definitely in the mood for a thriller right now. I have just been in the world's worst reading slump this year, and I feel like I need a thriller because it's so fast paced, and I do really get into the story and the mystery behind it all as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Chloe, for this one. I really cannot wait to read it. I might actually take it on holiday with me and read it there, we shall see. I do have a holiday TBR coming your way though, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. But I feel like this would definitely be a good one to take with me because it's so fast paced, and I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy this one. The next book I have to show you is Girl A by Abigail Dean, which definitely matches my vibe today. I am loving this. This one is another thriller that came onto my radar very recently, and I decided to just pick it up because, as I mentioned, I'm definitely in the thriller mood at the minute, and from what I've seen, this one does have really good reviews. On the back of this one it just says, I'm Lex Gracie, but they call me Girl A. I grew up with my family on the moors. I escaped when I was 15 years old. Now something is pulling me back. That's literally all it says, and I really don't want to know more. That is definitely enough to intrigue me and get me to want to pick it up, and I feel like this was on offer as well, but I can't quite remember. I don't think I paid full price for it. I think it was reduced, which is ultimately what swayed me to buy this one, and honestly I'm not mad about it. Next up we have a book that my mum gifted to me. It is The Dead Ex by Jane Corrie, which is an author I've never actually heard of before, so I'm already glad to own this one because it's introduced a new author to me. But on the back of this one it says, Vicky's husband David once promised to love her in sickness and in health, but after a brutal attack left her suffering with epilepsy, he ran away with his mistress. So when Vicky gets a call one day to say that he's missing, her first thought is good riddance, but then the police find evidence suggesting that David is dead, and they think Vicky had something to do with it. What really happened on the night of David's disappearance, and how can Vicky prove her innocence when she's not even sure of it herself? Again, this sounds like your classic thriller, and I feel like this will be a very quick read. Again, another contender for my holiday because you can probably see my mum doesn't look after books. She is a spine cracker, page bender. She honestly does not care. So this one is pretty battered, but honestly I'm not mad about it because it just makes it easier to read. And then the next book is The Games House by Claire North. This was given to me by my stepdad, and I cannot wait to read this book, you guys. This just sounds so crazy to me, and it combines so many different elements that I love, so very excited for this one. I am planning a reading vlog actually where I read books that were recommended to me by my stepdad, so this will definitely be making an appearance, and keep your eyes peeled for that if you want to know my thoughts on it. But again, I will just read you the back because I could never even begin to describe this book to you. It says, everyone has heard of the Games House, but few know all of its secrets. It's the place where fortunes can be made and lost through chess, backgammon, every game under the sun. But those whom fortune favours may be invited to compete in the higher league, where the games played are of politics and nations, of economics and kings. It's a contest where capture the castle involves real castles, and where hide and seek takes place on the scale of a continent. Among those worthy of competing in the higher league, 3 unusually talented contestants play for the highest stakes of all. From Clare North, author of word-of-mouth bestseller The First 15 Lives of Harry August, and one of the most original new voices in modern fiction, comes the mesmerising tale of the Game House, where games of chance and skill control the fate of empires. Can you now see why I'm so excited for this book? It's such a different pick for me, but I feel like that is what I need right now, especially because of my reading slump, and I am extremely excited to pick it up and will be doing so very, very soon. Next up, we have A Little Murder Mystery. This one is A Spoonful of Murder by J.M. Hall. I have been looking at this one for a while now, and when I saw it for £2.50 on Amazon, I had to pick it up. This one caught my interest because it really does remind me of the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, because every Thursday retired teachers meet up at a cafe, and one fateful week they bump into an old colleague of theirs, and just a week later that colleague is dead. And it says, the last thing Liz, Thelma and Pat imagined was that they would become involved in a murder, but they know there's more to Topsy's death than meets the eye, and it's down to them to prove it. Oh, and it does just say at the bottom that fans of the Thursday Murder Club and Midsummer Murders will be hooked. So definitely got those vibes from it, and I feel like this is one that I will actually enjoy as well. You guys know I love a good murder mystery, and for £2.50 I could not resist this one. Keeping on theme, we have another murder mystery, and that one is 450 from Paddington by Agatha Christie. This was another birthday gift that was sent to me by Emily over at Emily Kathleen Reads, so thank you so much, Emily, for this one. It is this beautiful hardcover edition of the classic tale, and I am just absolutely in love with it. This one doesn't have a synopsis anywhere on it, but I have just recently read this one, and from what I can remember, we are following a woman who gets on one train, and then during her journey she glances to the side when a passing train is going in the opposite direction, and she witnesses a murder. She of course rushes to tell people on board and the police once she gets to her station, but no one seems to believe her because they cannot find a body. That is until she tells the story to her dear friend Jane Marple, and Miss Marple of course takes it upon herself to investigate the crime. If you know me, you guys know I love an Agatha Christie book. I have almost finished the Miss Marple mysteries by now. I have 2 left I think, and then that is it. I can move on to the Poirot books, which is kind of scary actually, but I'm very excited to follow the new detective. Thank you so much once again, Emily, for adding this book to my collection. It's gonna look amazing with the rest of these editions that I have, and you've definitely made me want to splash out and buy a few more. The next 3 books I'm going to show you are some that I feel like you will be very happy to see me haul, because they are the Heartstopper graphic novels by Alice Oseman. So here I have volume 2, 3 and 4. I do already own volume 1. I bought it about a year ago now, and I still haven't read it because I wanted to buy all the books in this series and essentially binge them. So when I saw these in Tesco, they were £6 each. I decided to just go ahead and buy them. As we all know, there is a massive hype around Heartstopper at the minute, as there rightfully should be. We got the new Netflix adaptation, Alice Oseman was at Yelk, there's just a lot of stuff involving Heartstopper that is floating around on the internet right now, and I have definitely been sucked into the hype. I still haven't properly watched the TV series yet. I've watched a few clips of it that I've seen on Twitter, but I really did want to get these and read these first, just so that I can experience the story this way and then go on to see it visually. And I know that there is another book coming out, but obviously I couldn't buy it because it isn't out yet. I will get to that once it is out, but I do kind of want to catch up to everyone at the minute, and then once the new book comes out I can pick that one up with everyone and experience it with the rest of the people in this community. So very, very happy to have these ones, and I definitely feel like I'm gonna have to bring you guys along with me for my experience reading this and film a reading vlog. So again, keep your eyes peeled. I have a lot of exciting videos coming your way on this channel. The next stack of books I have to show you are all fantasies, which of course is my favourite genre, and I have some really exciting books to show you. The first one, and probably the book that I'm most excited about from this whole stack, is Her Dark Wings by Melinda Salisbury. This is a Greek myth retelling, and honestly, that alongside this cover, I was already sold. On the back of this one it says, on an island near the entrance to the underworld lives a modern-day Persephone. Corey and Bree's friendship has always been unbreakable, or so Corey thought, until Bree betrays her in the worst way possible, and then Bree's sudden death leaves Corey heartbroken and furious. But the underworld calls to Corey too. Enraptured by the passionate furies, she is taken to the realm of a god who is unyielding, cold, and irritatingly arrogant. It will change her, because the more she learns about herself, the more Corey's own power stirs. But can she resist her darkness within? Now, how good does that sound? Again, definitely my type of thing. Very excited to get to it. Melinda Salisbury is an author that I don't think I've read from before, but I know that people who have read from her have really enjoyed her books and have said that her writing style is really easy to get into as well. So definitely one that is very, very high on my to read list now. I feel like it's going to be a book that I love, and I'm very excited to get to it. Next up we have When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. This is one that I saw constantly whilst at Yelk. People were recommending it to each other. Chloe from Chloe Reads Books also picked this one up, and I don't know why, but I didn't. But after I got home, it was just nagging at me, and so I searched it up. It was on sale, and of course, I bought it. I honestly don't really know what this book is about. I think the way Chloe described it to me was that when women get their periods, they turn into dragons, I think. So let's just read the synopsis, because that just sounds insane, but I'm definitely here for it. It says, Wisconsin, 1933. In a world where girls and women are taught to be quiet, the dragons inside them are about to be set free, and nothing will ever be the same again. When hundreds of thousands of ordinary women sprout wings, scales, and talons and take to the skies in a blaze of fire and fury, 8-year-old Alex Green is one of those left behind, and no one will talk about what happened. Best forgotten, everyone says. But Alex can't forget, nor does she want to. As Alex grows into a fiercely independent teenager, she must face the consequences of the mass dragoning. A society closing in on itself, a mother more protective than ever, and watching her beloved cousin Beatrice becoming dangerously obsessed with the forbidden. This timeless and magnetic novel from Newbery Medal winner Kelly Barnhill exposes a world that wants to keep girls and women small, and examines what happens when they rise up. Okay, so maybe it's not quite how I described it, but I swear that's what I heard it was about. Anyway, this sounds really good. I feel like it's definitely about female empowerment, and who isn't there for that, you know? I'm very excited for this one. I feel like it's going to be a good mix of fantasy and literary fiction, and hopefully it will tackle some important points as well. The next two books are ones that I'm not really going to talk about too in depth, because they are booktube staples, and I feel like most people know what they're about. But just a bit of backstory, I recently got to meet Cassandra Clare. I met her at Yelk, and then at her UK tour event in Chester. Now, because I bought tickets there, I did get the option to add on a book, which was the tour edition of Chain of Gold. Now look how beautiful this is, and as I turn it around you can see that there's even more foiling and a different design on the back. I did haul this edition of Chain of Iron last month, so if you do want to see that, you're more than welcome to go back and watch that video. But I obviously had to get Chain of Gold because this is the first book in the Last Hours trilogy, and it is one that I did really love. The only thing that I don't like about this is that the only special thing is the dust jacket itself. So under it we just have the normal standard edition, which is fine, but I feel like for the price you pay we should have got something else exclusive. It's not even signed. I do have a signed book plate that I got at the event which I can stick in, but I feel like that's not the point, you know? If you buy a tour edition, it is nice to have it signed by the author, or we could have had some stenciling or something, but I have it. I really wanted it to commemorate meeting Cassandra Clare and being at her UK tour, which is something I never thought I could do. Like, honestly, if I was able to tell my 16-year-old self that one day she would meet Cassandra Clare, she would not believe you guys, or she would burst into tears. But yeah, Cassandra Clare is an all-time favourite author of me. The Mortal Instrument series is the series that got me into reading YA and is what kick-started my whole obsession with books and reading, so I will forever be thankful for it for that. And yeah, I just had to get this beautiful edition on tour as a little memento. And in the same vein we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, but this one is the 15th anniversary edition, and I am going to give it its own moment because look at how beautiful this one is, you guys. I am just absolutely obsessed with it. This is what the inside looks like for this one. It does say all the stories are true, and then it has the angelic rune on there, and we do also have a little letter from Cassie as well, which is such a nice touch, and I wish that the tour edition had something like that in it actually. But yeah, again, had to get this one. Even though I have way too many copies of City of Bones, there was no way I was was not picking this one up. It is the most beautiful book that I own, and I did rope my sister into buying this one as well, and if you want to see that video I will have it linked up above and down below. But I took you to the Cassandra Clare event with me and my sister where we bought some books and obviously saw Cassie. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely go and check that one out. And we have finally made it to the last two books, you guys, which technically don't count as books because they are colouring books. As you can see, we have the colouring book for Throne of Glass and also for the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. When I tell you I have been looking for this for the longest time, I'm not exaggerating. I've seen it on eBay for about £30–40 and I was not doing that. So when I went on Amazon and saw this back in stock, it was only £10. I just had to buy it. And of course I couldn't leave behind Throne of Glass. Absolutely love this series. Still haven't finished the last book. I'm so scared to dive into this last book, but it's peeking out on my shelves here because I am determined to read it this month and finally finish out this series. So I thought I would get this colouring book again to kind of commemorate that, but also because I really just want to colour in all the beautiful illustrations. I don't think that this spoils the last book either, which is really handy because obviously that would not be great, but I'm just going to try and show you. Oh my gosh, Fleetfoot! We have Fleetfoot there, which is the cutest thing. And then here is another example of the artwork, which again is just beautiful. And yeah, it's one that I've been wanting to get for a while. I did put it on a few birthday wish lists. No one bought it for me, so I took initiative and I bought it myself. And then same goes for this one. I'm not sure if this follows all of the books or just the first book in particular. I haven't actually looked into it properly. So what I'll do, I will just kind of show you a random page that doesn't really give too much away. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this one and how beautiful it is. Oh, I'm so excited about this one. Oh my gosh, and I've just seen an illustration that is one of my favourite illustrations ever, and it is this one. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil it, but if you know, you know. Oh my gosh, I've seen this around so many times and I've just been really wanting to get my own edition so I can colour it myself. And yeah, as you can see, I'm very happy with this purchase. And even though it isn't a standard book, I did want to include both in this haul because they're inspired by books, they're bookish related items, and they're ones that I've been wanting for a while. So to end this book haul, we have some colouring books, and I spend the majority of my evenings at the minute with my headphones in, listening to one audiobook, colouring in a photo. So yeah. It's just perfect, and I feel like I'm going to really enjoy my experience colouring in these books. And there we have it. These are all of the books that I either bought or received in July. Bearing in mind that the books that I bought at Yelk aren't even in this stack, so I definitely went a bit overboard. But you know what? I'm not angry about it. These are all books I really think I'm going to enjoy.
Ooh.
They have all just collapsed on me, so yeah. What a good end to this video, you guys. Please do let me know what you thought of the books that I showed in this haul and whether you have read any of them. I would love to chat to you guys in the comments. If you made it this far into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me some plant emojis down in the comments. I feel like we definitely got a load of stunning books with plants on the cover this time round, and I feel like that would be a very fitting emoji for this video. So if you don't have anything in particular that you'd like to say, but you'd like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and comment that emoji now. I say this all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me, and it really does make my day. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. As I mentioned previously, I have loads of exciting videos planned and coming your way, so to make sure that you don't miss any of my future videos, you can click the bell notification icon, which will notify you every time that I post. Other than that though, I don't have anything more to say, so I am going to end this video here, and I will see you soon in my next one. Goodbye!